Let's take a look at this example. This time we have given R total, R2, and we're supposed to find the value of R. I have two resistors. That's why I'm going to use the formula called product over the sum. So if R total is equal R1 times R2 over R1 plus R2. I have to solve this formula for R. But please notice that instead of R, I just simply wrote R1. Okay, so this is basically my R. Okay, I have to solve this formula for R. What I have to do? Let me copy this down again. So if R total is equal R times R2 over R plus R2. I have to first eliminate the fraction. In order to eliminate the fraction, I have to multiply both sides of my equation by the denominator. So if R plus R2, R plus R2. Denominator will cancel out. And I have R plus R2 times R total is equal R times R2. Next, I'm supposed to distribute R into the parentheses. Okay, so I have R times RT plus R2 times RT. This is equal R times R2. Next, I'm supposed to bring all terms which contain R to one side. So I simply move this term to the right side because this one has R and this one has R. And in order to keep this term positive, I'm going to keep it on the left side. So I have R2 RT is equal R2 minus RT. Next, I have to factorize the common factor for these two terms, which is simply R. So I have R2 RT is equal R, and I have R2 minus RT. Okay. Next, I'm supposed to divide both sides of my equation by the content inside of the parentheses. So I have R2 minus RT. R2 minus RT. This and this will cancel out. And I end up with R is equal R2 times RT over R2 minus RT. Next, I have to substitute the variables by the values of the resistors. So I have R total is equal 6 kilo ohms, R2 is equal 10 kilo ohms. So I have R2, which is equal 10 kilo ohms, times R total, which is equal 6 kilo ohms, over R2, which is equal 10 kilo ohms, minus R total, which is equal 6 kilo ohms. Please notice that the total resistance of the parallel circuit is always less than the lowest resistance in the circuit. Okay, so let's check how much this is going to be, and we'll verify if this is going to be less than the total resistance. Okay, so we have 10 kilo ohms, we have 10 exponent 3 times 6 exponent 3 equals, divide by open parenthesis 10 exponent 3 minus 6 exponent 3 close parenthesis equals 15 kilo ohms. Okay, So my value of R is equal 15 kilo ohms. My value of the resistor R2 is equal 10 kilo ohms. Total resistance is 6 kilo ohms. So please notice that the total resistance of the parallel circuit is supposed to be always less than the lowest resistance in the circuit. If total resistance is equal or greater than the lowest resistance in the parallel circuit, it means that your calculations are wrong. Okay, total resistance of the parallel circuit must be always less than the lowest resistance in the circuit. So in this case, lowest resistance in the circuit is 10 kilo ohms, and please notice that total resistance is 6 kilo ohms, is always less than the lowest resistance. But the solution for our problem is simply 15 kilo ohms. Okay, so this is my answer.